Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the latest from Fulton County DA Fani Willis. We haven't heard from her in quite some time, and she resurfaces now with a motion to disqualify a lawyer. And that motion is important in itself, but also it has some implications. So there is a woman who has been representing 11 of the phony electors. Remember, Willis is doing a lot of stuff. It involves the DC crowd, but also involves the Georgia conspirators to undo the election, including a group who were ready to sign on as, oh, we're the electors here. The state is appointed. And, well, you work for Donald Trump, only problem is the state had not appointed them because they had not. Trump had not won the state, so it is fraud, election fraud, etc. Now there's a whole gang of them, and many of them notified they were a target. And there's a weird dispute back and forth between Willis and a lawyer named Dibrow, Kimberly Burroughs Dibrow or Dibrow. And the alleged conduct from Fani Willis is pretty bad. Basically, Willis says she did Dibrow with people in my office, and we offered up immunity to several of her clients, and she didn't tell them. And in fact, her colleague represented in open court we had done that, but they didn't tell them. And we know this because we later talked to the clients, and they were like, immunity? What immunity? So the very best spin on this, if it's accurate, would be that the incredible negligence, but there's another spin in which she's representing 11 people and she may be playing favorites. It's already very dicey for her to do all 11. Probably they have to agree, and there's the possibility of sacrificing the interests of one for the interests of another. So Willis has said there's all kinds of ethical problems here. Now she's now only representing Dibrow, one person, but Willis is saying she should be disqualified from the case, period, for these ethical violations. Now Dibrow, who we don't have much information here, but just from the quotes from the paper she filed, seems like a kind of nasty, aggressive, and maybe not such a credible lawyer, but she comes out of the box. It's kind of like, Trump and Comey, lottie, I hope there are tapes, because she says there are tapes of these various meetings and she's completely making it up. And sadly, the district attorney has resorted to, impugning the good name, blah, blah, blah. So it's a rhetorical screed in reverse, but it also sets up this fact. Somebody, account, it's really 180 degrees separated. Someone's telling the truth and someone isn't. It's hard for me to believe. It's not because I'm a pro-prosecution guy in general, but it's just hard to believe that Willis is making it up and doesn't have the receipts, as it were, but we'll find out. Okay, so that, they want to disqualify them from the whole case, and that's, matters in and of itself. But it also matters because, recall, Willis is putting together a pretty big, sprawling case, or you could say cases. We know from the authority of remember her, the foreperson of the select grand jury and her 15-minute PR tour, that there's a lot of Georgian folks, figures who have been, who are in, look to be in their sights, in Willis's sights. So she's simultaneously doing kind of Georgia level stuff and national level stuff, but that includes the electors. So it suggests to me anyway, we've been focusing on timing. Remember back in January, I think she said it was imminent. Then she said, oh, I meant legally imminent. And then she actually said, by imminent, I didn't mean anytime soon. I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, really? Well, that's what the dictionary says imminent means. You've got a private meaning here that we don't know about. But it has seemed to me and many observers that the table is set for her, and there's a new grand jury coming in early May. That matters because speedy trial considerations are measured from when the grand jury is first sitting. So you want a ideal time, all things being equal, is, just when the grand jury begins to sit. But does this suggest that there's a big chunk of her state level case that really still needs, you give immunity, then you have to debrief the person, then you have to put them in the grand jury, and none of that is the work of a day or two, or even a week or two, it seems to me. So now there's no rule that says she has to bring the cases at the same time if she has separate Georgia and national cases. No rule that says she can't supersede an indictment, but it does suggest that if what she's envisioning or pointing towards is a kind of full-on indictment, recall that, some people suggested she's even thinking about a RICO charge, which is the ultimate for packaging everything together. It does suggest that imminent, again, is not really imminent. And indeed, there's the possibility, of course, of two different cases, superseding indictments. But this is the first word we've had, again, from Fani Willis since many months ago. And it does seem to me to re-raise the question of just how around the corner, how short a corner it is until the charges, which I continue to have basically no doubt will come, when exactly that will be. Okay, so weird stuff with a defense attorney. Somebody's right and somebody's wrong, and then all it means for the timing of the case. We'll be learning more about it pretty soon, including when Fani Willis replies to this screed from the defense attorney. Till then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.